Well, let's get some more analysis now, and we can speak to sports journalist Ruben Slagter at Eurosport, who joins us from Paris. Thank you very much indeed for speaking to us, Ruben. French mayors saying they're going to not going to broadcast the games on big screen, something of a boycott. Is this happening in other countries as well, or is it just here?
No, we've seen it in several countries already. We have seen it in Germany, for example, Berlin, where there was always a big screen behind the Brandenburger Tor. There have been stories about Brussels, and probably a lot of big cities will follow. So yeah, it's not the only case. It's just that in Germany, for example, the reason was clearly also that it's in winter, the energy crisis, and COVID was also cited. So it wasn't that much mentioned about being it in Qatar.
And Ruben, I mean, human rights abuses in Qatar aren't news. They're not new news at any rate. They've been happening for some time. We've been given to understand, and not just in Qatar, but in other countries in the region as well. And then, of course, throw into the mix the idea that Qatar owns football clubs like Paris Saint-Germain. So what do we read into the timing of this? Why is this boycott happening now?
Yeah, it's quite of a paradox, isn't it? I mean, especially here in Paris, it's special that there's now such a boycott, if you want to call it like that, because there will still be matches shown in bars and wherever. There's now a growing discussion here in France, that's for sure. And we shouldn't, again, forget that there is an energy crisis, and I think that played quite an important part as well.
Do you think any of this is going to have any impact on the tournament?
We'll see. I think not so much for the tournament in Qatar. What we are seeing now everywhere in Europe, not only by not broadcasting it on giant screens, but we've also seen it with teams like Denmark having jerseys which are really sober, that it will be a sober tournament. And that's also because it will be in winter, so there won't be too many people outside, so it will be a lot less festive than we have seen in other World Cups. That's for sure.
And, just looking at other developments in the world today, I mean, some people might say, that same accusation of sports washing could be applied to Saudi Arabia, given today's announcement.
Yeah, and just already we're now talking about a drop in the ocean if they're not showing matches here. We are going to have winter games in Saudi Arabia, but it's clear that there's a prestige match going on between the Gulf states about showing and Middle Eastern states about showing who can host the best event. And if there would be Asian winter games in Saudi Arabia, that would be, yeah, I cannot even say how strange that is, but it was quite some news today, that's for sure.
Okay, so people aren't going to be watching on big screens here in Paris. Some people might turn their back on watching the Asian Winter Olympics. But at the end of the day, it all boils down to who's got the deepest pockets and who can put on the best show, doesn't it? It's all about money.
Yeah, that's the whole idea of sports right now. It's all about the money. Qatar will be really happy that all their hotels are already fully booked. The people they want to have in the country, they will come, the people with big pockets. And that's just where this tournament and where this event is going to. It will be for the happy few to go there and to see the games. And that's just how it is. We are organizing such a big event right now is quite an investment. And there aren't many countries who want to do it anymore. So then you're coming to countries who want to use it as sports washing for their country and to show the world what they are capable of.
Okay, well, that's all we got time for. Thank you for taking the time to speak to us. Sports journalist Ruben Slagter at Eurosport. Thank you very much indeed.